Hello everybody and welcome Vicky Pattison, The Secret To. This week I am joined by none other than author, mega babe and queen of manifesting. It's Roxie Nafousi, everybody. Woo!
Hi, thank you so much. I have honestly been so excited to talk to you.
All right, okay, well, I'm gonna get this off my chest before we go another step further. We've joked about this before we started the record, but I think everyone deserves a chance. Roxie, I nearly didn't have you on, right? Get on this. So I was talking to my producer earlier in the week, and obviously we've both got books out at the minute, and they are very different, wildly different, but both are in the same chart. And I've been obviously checking, like, painstakingly every day to see where I'm at. And yours is just pitting me at the post every single time. I rang my producer and I went, am I fucking mental for having this bird on my podcast when it's actually kicking me off in the chart? And she was like, do not be that person. Like, don't compete with another woman. Be proud in your book. Have a run. Her book's amazing. I was like, you're so right. That moment of jealousy, that moment of pettiness is gone. And I'm so pleased I've had you, because honestly, even just talking to you for a couple of minutes, you're an absolute mega babe.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? It's so funny because I haven't really spoken about this step at all in any of these kind of interviews. And so I'm really glad that I can now, because step, wait, I've got to remember what fucking step it is.
Oh, babe, don't worry. I can't even say the full title of mine. It's so long. I always have to read it off the copy.
Okay, step 6 is turn envy into inspiration. Okay. And it's all about, like, envy is really low vibe. So it comes from a place of lack. So it's like going, if you've got something, so if you make book sales, then there's not enough book sales for me. And that's like a scarcity mindset. And so that's what you attract back to you. But then if you change that to like inspiration, or it's women supporting women, that's a really abundant mindset. And that's saying, do you know what? There's enough sales to go around for everyone. And so when you posted, and you even like posted a picture of my book just now, and I was like, oh my God, she's a manifesting queen. She's on it. Abundance. So I loved it.
Nice. Oh my God. Right. Okay. So I always say, and like, I love women supporting other women, and I believe you rise by lifting others and all the rest of it. And I'm not proud of those emotions, you know, those ones you feel. And I always say, whenever I feel a twinge of jealousy over anything, I go, jealousy is an ugly emotion. And I hate feeling it in myself. That's what I say. So that's it, isn't it? You've just said envy is a low vibe. And it's right, isn't it? But we're only human. We're bound to feel it here or there in our life. So I love that. I'm really quite proud of myself, actually. And
you should be. And also, do you know what I feel
producer.
What I feel I really want to say to you is, don't judge your envy. That's actually where we go wrong. Yeah. Because you shouldn't, because of course it's like so natural for us to feel like envy comes from a place of fear. It's like we're scared that, you know, we don't want, if we care about things, of course we don't want someone to like potentially take that from us. Yeah. Like, that's natural. And I think that we kind of grow up thinking envy is like really like the green-eyed monster. And so
one of the 7 sins, isn't it? Like,
okay. Yeah. So what we do is we judge ourselves. And then, okay, for example, if a really confident girl walks into a room, how often do you or you hear your friends go, oh my gosh, she's so fucking arrogant? Like, she's not. No, I know. But we're jealous of the confidence.
There's that thing, isn't there, that's doing the rounds now on TikTok and stuff. And it's like, am I intimidating, or are you intimidated? Like, and I've listened to it and watched it, and I thought, I don't think I've got the balls to post this. And like, also, like, you know, on TikTok, you have to remember it and say it back. I don't think I've got that. Right. But it's true. And it's our initial reaction when someone shows us something that we wish we had in ourselves, or someone has something that we covet. It's our go-to, and I'm never proud of it. I don't feel it often, and I do always say to myself, that's ugly, you're better than that. But yeah, I kind of get you, Roxie. Like, it is so natural, and I shouldn't beat myself up, but I'm pleased I've done the right thing, and you're on today, and we're going to talk about your amazing book, and everyone's going to buy it, and the cards will fall where they may, mate.
I'm already like, as soon as I get off this, I'm promoting your book. I was like, oh my God, it's my turn now.
I love you. I'll send you one, I promise. Right, so the next thing I have to get off my chest, God, I feel like this is a therapy session, not a podcast. This book, which I'm going to show, obviously I have my copy here and I'm so proud of it. this book made me jealous on another level. This is the most simple and beautiful cover I've ever seen. And this is what I wanted for mine, you know, right? So I had to say to me, editor, they were showing us all these different covers when we're coming up to it. And as you know, like it's the cover's the nice part, isn't it? Writing the book's tough, and you can stumble, you can lose enthusiasm, you can almost like feel like, God, am I doing the right thing? Doubt yourself. But when it comes to the cover, that's the exciting bit, you know? And they were sending us all these options, and I was like, no. And I was like, I love people like Vex King.
Yeah.
And like I said, can we just strip this book back? Can we go like super simplistic, classic, edgy, something that you want on your coffee table, something that even if people have gone for that really Scandinavian vibe in their front room is going to look sick.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no, Vicky, like I had to fight to not have a picture of myself on, you know? And they were like, no, we want it to be this, we want it to be that, we need it to reflect your personality, your vibrant, bright. And I was like, oh, I get it. So honestly, for tooth and nail to get the cover I've got, and I love it so much. But then, Roxie, seeing yours, and I was like, no, the bitch has stolen me aesthetic as well.
No, you know what I thought?
Yeah.
I thought I had the same. They sent me like, God bless Penguin, like no, but they sent me these cover options, and I was like, it's a hard fucking no. So I've got a graphic designer called Amy who's amazing. Like she is so talented, and she'd actually just joined my team like 3 months ago, so I feel like it was meant to be, and she designed my journal and everything. But I knew what I wanted, like minimal.
Yeah.
And actually I was like, also like give them a color, because I know that Penguin will want a color. So we came back with the orange. And then Penguin like, no, the orange is too much. We're going to go neutral. So it was going to be the same, but neutral. And I was like, no. The orange is sick. It's iconic. So I called my editor and I was like, can you meet me at Waterstones? And I took her into Waterstones, and I was like, look at all the orange books. They stand out. And so she went back, and I was like, just push your boss. Like we need it orange. And I wouldn't sign the contract until I had creative control.
This is like such girl boss vibes. Like I just threw me toys out my pram and had a whinge. I feel like I should have, God, I wish I'd known you sooner. I should have had more of a plan. I should have done all this proactive stuff instead of just being like, no, I want my own fucking way.
Oh man, I love your cover. Like genuinely love. It's so feel good, and it like actually stands out. And because I feel like you can judge on the Amazon chart, me and you are obviously both obsessively checking.
I'm checking it more than the Daily Mail these days. I'm a freak.
It's addictive.
Oh, babe, don't get us started. Like, when you've seen us post yours before, I had to take myself away from my day and have a bath and have a face mask, because I was like, the way you're behaving is not well. Like, it's not okay. This book is something you're proud of, and it's going to do what it's going to do. Just fucking relax.
It's so, I don't know about you, I was like an addict. So I feel like for me, work has become my addiction.
Yeah.
And so I noticed little tendencies like this, where you're like checking things, you're like, oh God, I get it. And it's like, your brain gets like frazzled.
But being like, in the big scheme of things, being addicted to the Amazon chart over cocaine is far better.
Any day.
Oh, Roxie, so yes, now that I've got all those things off my chest, and I can congratulate you on a beautiful cover and an amazing book and a chart placement that is so well deserved, let's start the pod, shall we? So your brand new book, Manifest, 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life. Imagine I am an alien, right? And I've just touched down on planet Earth, and I don't know what anything is, and I ask you what manifesting is. How would you describe it?
So it took me ages to get the kind of one-liner. I've got it now.
Okay.
And it's using the power of your mind to change and create the reality you experience.
Oh God, that sounds good, doesn't it?
I wish I'd put it in the book.
That's book number 2. Always leave them wanting a little bit more. Come on, let's manifest that franchise. Okay, so I feel like at the moment, like I have a lot of friends, and a lot of people are throwing around this word manifest. And I think people kind of fall into one of 2 camps. Like the train of thought is either manifesting is amazing, I'm doing it, I'm living my best life, blah, blah, blah. Or the opposite end of the spectrum, which tends to be like, this is a load of bollocks, don't even say that around me. And I wondered, because I'm really a live and let live type person, mate, and to be like, always have been. But I wondered why you thought it polarizes people so much. It's almost like the people in the camp that don't believe are like scared and angry of it.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed this yourself?
Yeah, well, definitely. I think there's so many things, there's so many reasons for it. I think firstly, when something, because manifesting has become like a trend and it's on TikTok, and like you say, people are throwing it around.
Yeah.
It actually does two things. On one hand, yes, it gets more awareness, but on another hand, it kind of devalues it, and it makes it seem like some like wishy-washy thing. But and actually in loads of interviews recently, I keep getting asked, should you do manifesting every day, or what can you do to manifest? And what my book is explaining is that you don't do manifesting, you live it. Like, it's a way of living.
Not a spin class.
No, okay. You don't just like do your little 5 minutes manifesting at the end of the day and then like boom, you're in your mansion next week. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's a self-development practice to empower you to be your higher self. And it's also not about just visualizing what you want. It's about being proactive and, you know, aligning your behavior. And there's so many elements to it. And so I think that's kind of the first thing, is just that it's being devalued. And so I think then it's easier for people to be like, oh, it's just a trend, or like whatever. But then I think,
I get it.
You're also absolutely right. It is really scary, because if somebody is saying to you, like, actually, you have the power to change your life, you suddenly are also faced with all your fears, all your insecurities, all your doubts, all your unworthiness, all your years of trauma, all the people that have told you that you can't have it all. And so that's really triggering. Yeah. And it also means that you have to take responsibility. And that's the first thing.
Say that, you know what, as you were explaining, Rox, I thought, and like I say, each to their own, but you know what I thought? I thought probably what scares people is the implication that you have got the power to live the life you want within you. And then you have to ask the question, well, if I'm not living the life I want, is it on me? And people love to blame things, you know. I didn't get this, and this didn't happen to me, and I had that, and you know. And I think, God, that must be what puts people off. Is the idea that it's all on them, and they've only got themselves to blame if they don't get the things they want.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, especially, I mean, I used to be kind of in that victim mentality. So I get it. I was always thinking that it was someone else's fault. And it's a real like hit on your ego to go, okay, this is on me. Like I have to do something. No one's coming for me. No one's coming to save me.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to do it.
It's also so much pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like I love a little bit, like I'm very proactive, but I love a little bit of blame every so often, you know, like, oh, you know, my Uber was late, that's why I'm late, I'm sorry, you know, a little bit of like just shirking it. So the idea that, God, it's all on you is a lot of pressure. And I can understand.
It is. And also, don't you think there's a fear of being happy? Like, I think, because the idea of actually having everything you want and being really happy is also terrifying. Like, that's also terrifying. It's just going, oh my God, imagine, like, then what?
Yeah. And you know, as well, like, and I really feel like I'm digging people out here, but I'm not intending to. I'm sure most people who listen to my podcast are beautiful, lovely, positive people and are loving this chat. But I get the impression sometimes when I chat to people, you know, and people will say something to me like, oh, it's all right for some. And I think, okay, like, I get that. That's obviously a bit of a dig. But I think sometimes people just do want to be a bit miserable. Sometimes people like having something to moan about, don't they?
100%. And I think, yeah, it is. And that is where the live and let live is perfect.
Of course.
It's like, oh, yeah, all right. It's like, as well, you know, people will go, you know, what do you say to those people that don't believe in it? It's like, I don't say anything. Like, if they want it, they want it. If they don't, that's all right. Because I think actually people do find it in the end when they're most lost. Or you can lead by example anyway.
Roxie, I feel like I am. So I don't know if I manifest. This is the thing. So it's totally exploded in the last couple of years. And I definitely think I've jumped on the bandwagon a little bit. And I'm really worried I'm doing it wrong. Like you see, I think I potentially am one of these people who's like, well, I'm really thinking about a big house and I haven't got one yet, so it's not working, you know, or something like that. So I think I've probably fallen into that very naive camp who's doing it wrong. But then sometimes I think maybe I am doing it a little bit right. So I always do, especially this time of year. Like, I know you should do it all year round and stuff, and I do to a certain extent, but I get really excited in most Januaries. This one I struggled. I was a bit slow out the blocks this year. I blamed being sick over Christmas and COVID and the pandemic and stuff, but I'm now firing on all cylinders. I'm back, I promise. So I'm back. But yeah, I do vision boards and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that part of the process?
Definitely. The step one is to be clear in your vision, because you can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where it is you're headed. So doing a vision board, I love doing it at the beginning of the year. I do mine every New Year's Eve.
Oh my God, that is such a nice way to start, though, isn't it? It is. And then you wake up on New Year's Day and you're fired up and excited, and I'm for that. I'm gonna do that next year. I'm gonna get pissed again, but I'll think of you doing your board.
Honestly, I actually was like, I really need to get a life. Did my vision board, went to 9 p.m. and I woke up pissed off with the fireworks. I was like, God, they're loud.
I thought you were going to say it, and then I got pissed and I was like, yes, go on, Queen. But no, pissed off with the fireworks. Bless you, Dave. Honestly, do you know, I'm giving it the big in here, mate. I was in bed at 2 and I'd struggled to get to 2. You know, I really should have been in bed at 1, but I was like, it's New Year, what are you doing? I think this year didn't have its usual like exhilarating effect.
It didn't. And everybody was sick.
Yeah, everybody. I think I would have been better off doing the old vision board. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do my new one soon. Okay, so I am manifesting in a sense.
So being clear in what you want is really important, and being specific. And I think especially when I'll explain basically the main thing, like if I could teach everybody one thing about manifesting, it would be that we don't manifest from our conscious thoughts, but from our subconscious beliefs about what we're worthy of.
Oh, wow. So that's really interesting.
It's if you believe, okay, let me put it like this. If you want a house, but you don't believe you're worthy of it, it won't appear in your life. And if you visualize your dream partner, but you don't believe you're worthy of unconditional love, you won't be able to attract your soulmate. So everything comes back to your self-worth, and self-love is really at the heart of every step of manifesting. And so what I've done is, what I realized, and I made this into step 2, which is remove fear and doubt, is that in our subconscious, we have obviously the power to create our dreams, but we also hold within it the 2 things that block us from manifesting. And that's fear and doubt. It's all our insecurities, all, like we kind of mentioned earlier, all the unworthiness, all the things that people told us that we couldn't have.
Yeah.
And those are our blocks. And what often happens is, okay, let's say I said to you now, okay, tell me, write down the exact figure you want to earn next year.
Yeah, instantly, Roxie, I felt scared.
Yeah, you would feel scared, and you would write down
would I write down something that I think is achievable?
Yes.
I would. I fucking would, mate. That's what's in my head. Yeah.
Exactly. So even at the very first hurdle, we don't even allow ourselves to visualize what we want. And so when you're doing your vision board, actually, you have to be checking in and going, like I always say, like I will say to people, like make a vision board, then scribble it out, and then write what you really fucking want. Because actually it's you're so limited, and you the only limits are the limits of your mind. So don't block yourself at the very first hurdle.
I felt like crying straight away when you said that there instantly, right? And also, I know I reacted like you are some sort of cheesy Las Vegas magician who've just done a great trick. I'm very sorry, but I felt like what you did was amazing. Like you actually unlocked something. I do that, you know. And like, obviously you're saying I'm not the only one, but I look at my vision board that I've got upstairs, and it's last year's model, bless it, it needs a redo. But there were definitely some things where I've completely shot for the stars. And I really, and I think I knew they were big asks, you know? big hopes. And then a lot of it, it's almost like I thought that is really doable and achievable for you. So pop it on, because, you know, it was almost safe.
Yeah.
And like, this isn't about being safe. It's about getting the life you really want, isn't it? But I was holding myself back through fear of not getting them and being disappointed.
Yeah. And people always say that. They're like, but what if I get, like, shouldn't I not put something down in case it doesn't happen? I'm like, that's where you're going wrong.
You're holding yourself back.
Yeah. And it is really like, I don't know, did you watch King Richard? It's the film about
Will Smith.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but it's on me to do. It looks amazing.
It's unreal. And one thing it really shows you is this unbelievable power of self-belief.
Yeah.
And that is also manifesting. Like, I mean, manifesting, by the way, is everywhere. Like every philosopher, every film, every speaker, like they're all talking about manifesting in different languages. But it's this idea. So it's like knowing what, dreaming big, but then having this like unwavering self-belief. Like you will probably know times in your life where you've like, let's say you've put something down where you've gone, I'm just going to dream big. But in your heart, you're like, I just know I've got this. I know.
Honestly, there is moments, isn't there? And it's
and it's that high vibe energy that like kind of gets you there. Like I'm obsessed with Oasis.
What, the band?
Yeah. And
there was a lot of options for us there, Roxy. I didn't know if it was like the drink or the clothes shop. I'm glad I guessed right. It was very vague. You've got us panicking. Right, Oasis, Liam and Noel.
I remember, and okay, think what you will about Liam Gallagher, but if you watch his early interviews, that self-belief, he's like, we are going to be the best band in the world. And it's like, there are some people who are natural manifestors. They're like, I don't know how, I just know I am going to make it happen. And that's what we all need. We need that Liam Gallagher energy.
Yeah, be a bit more Liam Gallagher. Right, okay. So when you were telling that story, there's one instance that stood out in my head, right? And it's been one of the best moments of my life. So when I went in the jungle, like they didn't really want to meet me at ITV. Like they did, I think they took a real risk and a real chance, and they were looking at broadening their horizons a bit, you know. But I was considered a really controversial booking for them. Like coming from Geordie Shore, being relatively unknown, even if you did know who I was, the chances are you probably didn't really like us, or who you thought I was, you didn't like, you know. And I went in, and I remember like chatting to it was like my version of the X Factor, basically. There was like 3 producers in front of us. And I still speak to one of them today. She was lovely, but I was so intimidated at the time. But I remember thinking, like, this is my chance. This is my moment to be this person that I know I'm capable of being. This is an integral step to getting there, to showing everyone I'm more than what they thought I was. And I smashed it, Roxy. Like, I smashed it. You know, when you like come out of a job interview and you say to yourself, like, if you don't want me after that, I don't know what you're after. You know, I did good. And right at the end, they went, you know, they asked us, like, would you fall in love in the jungle? And what are you scared of? And all the usual questions. And right at the end, they said, is there anything you'd like to add? And I said, just that I'd be good at this.
Oh, I love that.
And I don't know where it came from, mate, because I'm not that person. I'm so like, just please let me in. Like, I literally said, I'd be good at this. And I was like, and they were like, oh, okay. And I went, I'm just letting you know, this is the show for me. And like, I walked out of there feeling like I said, you know, if they don't want me now, they don't want Vicky Pattison, that's fine. And I can't do anymore. And when I got the call, like, I just looked at my agent, I was like, I'm going to win this. And it's the only time in my life where I've ever been so sure of myself and so confident. Mate, I did when you were saying that about really feeling it, that Liam Gallagher confidence. And that was it. And the whole experience, Roxy, was just amazing. And yes, my self-doubt reared its ugly head a couple of times, and I faltered and I questioned if I was coming across all right. But ultimately, like, I always believed I was exactly where I needed to be. And I've not really recreated that since. I feel like that's a real shame. I've not really managed. Don't get us wrong, I've had lovely, successful moments, but that self-belief was fleeting.
So interesting. As you were telling that story, I feel like I just wanted, like, say to you, I'm like channel that. Like, you need to almost, like, so much of all this is in like thinking about like the highest version of ourselves. And if you imagine that is like the most empowered version of yourself. You need to step into that character. It's like fake it till you become it. It's like that is your higher self, and step into that role of like, I know, like you are like such an amazing energy and like the loveliest, like so open and warm and like, oh my God, I'm just obsessed with talking to you. And it's like, step into that self-belief, like you just deserve it.
Roxie, honestly, like I'm so good at this. It's like last thing on a Friday we're doing this record because I feel like I'm fucking capable of anything now. I'm just sitting here on like, right, I want to do this and I want to do that, and all I'm really going to do is like change me into my PJs. But you've got me so fired up. Like, oh, will you come back in part 2? We'll talk about every step in your book. I want to ask you a little bit about your past, and yeah, we'll just learn more about manifesting because I want to be a manifesting queen like you.
Can't wait.
Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of Vicky Pattison, The Secret To. I am here with my, let's call a spade, my new fucking girl crush. Honestly, I'm so obsessed with you, Roxie.
Like, feeling is mutual.
Yes! I said this in the break, right, but I may as well tell everyone I'm an open book. I've been like staring, you guys don't get to see her, and this is the only time this medium is disappointing podcast because she's stunning. But yeah, I'm looking at her, I'm like, maybe I should cut my hair. Like she's got, but I'd look like Edna from the fucking Incredibles if I did it. You look like a babe, but I would look like Edna. Or I'm just going to leave the short hair to you, I think. But yeah, I'm loving this pod. And you know, I think, mate, like it's exactly what people need to hear this time of year. Like I mentioned, I was feeling a little bit down at the start of Jan, and I attributed it to various different things, but actually I just think it's because I felt a bit displaced. Like I didn't feel that usual excitement I've got because this year is still so up in the air and uncertain with the pandemic raging on, and that's what I kind of landed on eventually. But I think people need this. They need manifesting. They need your book. They need you more than ever now.
Oh, thank you. You know, I think it's like people need hope, and manifesting is like all about hope. It gives you this like amazing feeling, like this light within you. It's just like, it's all going to be okay. And even through the shit, it's all going to like, it's all leading you somewhere better. And so, yeah.
Do you think manifesting at its very core, if we had to like really strip it back and say something, is hope? It is hope.
Is what? It's hope. Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. 100%. I would say that, like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, I keep referring to things, so it's just because I'm really aware of what people are asking me loads, and it's like people do keep saying like, why is manifesting having a like renaissance? You know, it's not new, it's not a new concept, and it is that, it's because, but at the moment people need that hope. Yeah, they don't have the security maybe of their jobs or the economy or their ability to travel or whatever it is, and so with that kind of uncertainty, we do feel more lost. And so you hold on to this idea that like, actually you can use your own mind, and if I'm can use my own mind, then that's a feeling of safety, and so that safety and hope together is just, you know, an empowerment. I don't know, I fucking love manifesting. Like honestly, I could talk about it all day. Like I genuinely, like I'm so passionate about it.
No, but that's lovely. And I think when you are genuinely passionate about something and you talk about it from a place of like authenticity and real love, like it's very difficult for people not to in turn feel inspired. And listening to you talk, like I've said, I feel very inspired. I don't want to, like, spoiler alert, ruin the book for everybody. Despite what my ugly emotion inside, want everybody to go out and buy it because it's amazing and you're amazing. So it's 7 steps to manifesting your best life, living your best life. What are those 7 steps, Rox?
Okay, so these 7 steps, just to explain, are basically everything I learned about manifesting from listening and reading and researching and immersing myself in all self-development. And I kind of instinctively, I did it on a walk before my first manifesting workshop before the pandemic. I wrote it in about 5 minutes. So I feel like it was just in me. Yeah. And obviously didn't write the book in 5 minutes, I wrote the steps in 5 minutes.
You're preaching to the fucking choir.
That's another story. So I got PTSD from writing the book. So anyway, So anyway, so I made these 7 steps that will incorporate everything that you need to know about manifesting, and it is a self-development practice to live by. So step 1 is to be clear in your vision. So that really is about just gaining that clarity on where you want to head so that you can focus your attention. And that includes using regular visualizations, which has been proven by neuroscience to basically prime our subconscious to help us reach our goals. So I really recommend kind of doing weekly visualization meditations, obviously making your vision board, and just really being specific with the things you want to manifest, like making sure there's lots of details, not just saying, I want to manifest a job, but like which job, what salary, how do you want to feel within your role? Specific. And for anyone, I'm basically going to give you the whole fucking book.
No, please don't, because I want people to still buy it. Let's keep it short.
No, it's all right. It's hard. I love it. And then it's also about saying, for people that maybe don't know what they want, thinking about how you want to feel. Because sometimes especially if you find manifesting when you are lost, you might think, oh my God, I don't even know what I want. Firstly, I'll say you do know what you want. You're just too scared to admit it because of that fear and doubt. But you can manifest how you want to feel in yourself. So more confident, more at peace, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think, sorry mate, interrupt, I know you're on a roll, but I think, for years when I was younger and I was writing me goals and stuff, and I hadn't manifested in the form it's in now, essentially wasn't really as topical as talked about. But when I used to write down my goals, it used to always be, I want to be rich, or I want to be on this TV show, or I want like this clothing brand or whatever. It was only when I got into my 30s and stuff, I want to be happy, worked its way onto the list. And it's edged further and further up, like it's definitely one of the top things I write now.
I love that.
Yeah, I know, mate, but like, I think when you're younger, it's very easy to get distracted by other stuff, isn't it?
Well, it's just because we think that those things will bring us the happiness.
Yeah, but
and the validation.
Not necessarily, do they?
No, I mean,
that's really important then, including how you feel, isn't it?
Yeah, and I do say this in the book. I say that manifesting's greatest gift is not to help us attract things, but actually to empower us to be the best version of ourselves. So it really is, like, I'm really glad you brought it up, actually, because it's not yes, you could you can manifest abundance, and money is actually really powerful energy, but really, like, manifesting like your highest, most confident self, that's the beauty of it. I don't know the phrase.
The end goal, isn't it? That's the big win, is being this, like, and I always say like, my end goal is to always be this best version of myself.
Yeah.
And like, that will look different at every stage of my life, I've no doubt, like, as we grow and evolve and all the rest of it. But yeah, that is always my big goal, being this elusive best version.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's manifesting. So go on, keep going. I'm lapping this up, mate. I'm like I'm on your TED talk. I'm like, what's next?
That should be on my vision board. I really want to do a TED talk.
Okay. Get it on, mate. Get it on. That's
so step 2 is remove fear and doubt. And that is basically, was my hardest step to write, because it's huge, because removing fear and doubt is essentially the inner work, and that's self-development. And that's why I always say, like, this is a self-development practice to live by. It's basically being able to identify what are your blocks. So if whatever it is you want to manifest, what are the fears that are currently stopping you from having that thing? So you want the promotion, but do you worry you're not smart enough, qualified enough, liked enough? Do you doubt it's possible for you, whatever? And it's about addressing those and starting that healing journey. And in the book, I do give some kind of practical tools, like watching the way you speak to yourself, using mantras. It's basically, fear and doubt is just about identifying your insecurities and starting to heal them. And I think alongside using the techniques I do is actually, I encourage people to also look at alternative therapies, whether that's counseling, CBT, energy healing, whatever it is, anything that helps you to look at the traumas, and we all have traumas that have caused us to doubt ourselves, and look at healing those. So yeah, it was a really hard chapter to write because there's so much to it.
And I also think, I can also imagine like that is the really hard part of the process for everybody, right? So it makes sense that it's the hardest chapter, because I know just off hearing you talk about it for the last half an hour, that is definitely what holds me back from being this manifesting queen. It's my own self-doubt. It's my fear that, and there's that saying, isn't it, like, where fear is not that we're not good enough, where fear is that we can burn brighter than ever before. Like, that is so true. And I do think we're a little bit scared of our own potential.
Oh my God, we are so aligned, because I'm as you're talking, I'm thinking things and you're saying them.
Honestly,
yeah, just now I was thinking we have a fear of our own light, and it's like we fear that we, like, someone once said it to me and it really stuck. It was like that we have this fear of our own power.
Yeah,
it's that we are all so powerful, and that is, and that is just so scary in a way for a lot of us. Totally. But we have to be able to, and actually it kind of goes quite well into step 3, which is align your behavior.
Okay. And I think this is the bit where people will as well, like, it's all right, very well and good sitting there wishing for things, but actually doing something, putting something in practice that would make those things achievable, that I imagine is a place where people stumble as well.
100%. There's no substitute for hard work. It's like my new favorite saying. I'm like, I said it the other day and I'm like, that's my new phrase.
You sound like a 50-year-old fella. No substitute for hard work, but I love it. It's true. I'm a huge believer in, like, being kind to people, respecting others, encouraging others to do well, but working fucking hard as well. Like, 100%. That's where I'm at.
And I think this is really like align your behaviors. There's loads of parts to it, but it's about being proactive, taking action. It's about embodying the person you want to be. And that also means, having the habits of that version of you. So the way you treat yourself day to day is, really integral to your manifesting journey. So how you have what your morning routine looks like, how you wind down, how you treat your mind, body, soul, that is all reflective of your self-worth. And so that's why it affects your ability to manifest. And so every day, every minute of every day, we have an opportunity really to boost our manifesting power, from whether we choose to, like, hydrate, or whether we choose to set healthy boundaries. Like, it's all reflective of how we feel about ourselves, which is the message we are sending to the universe about what we deserve.
Honestly, like, I can't tell you enough how I wish this was a Monday morning, because, like, my week is winding down and I'm like, I just hope all these principles are still really fresh in my head, because I'm so inspired. I'm thinking to myself, like, self-worth is about, like, respecting what you put in your body. It's about taking time for yourself. It's about making time for that hour in the gym or whatever, and I've lost my way slightly, and January is a hard time, to sort of, I think, get back into everything as well.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely have. And this is making us feel like I'm really excited about this year.
Oh, good. Oh, I love that. Yay. That's good. That's the goal. And I think it is about feeling excited about all the little changes you can make that will make your life feel like full. Like, our lives are already full and rich if we, just allow ourselves to explore that. And then align your behavior is also about stepping outside your comfort zone. And that's really about, on any manifesting journey, you're going to have to grow and, like, go to the next level. And it's like growing pains. And that means you're going to have to do something that you're scared of doing, or something that you thought you couldn't do. And you have to prove to yourself that you're more than you think you are. And that is almost like step 3 and step 2 are really in tandem, because the more you act like the version of yourself that you know you can be, the more you'll start to believe it. And then the more you believe it, the more you'll be able to do it. So it's like that thing I said to you earlier, fake it till you become it. It's really about that. So aligning your behavior is just like going for it, and just don't stop, and then you go to step 4, which is overcome tests from the universe. And this is my favorite step.
Okay, you've got me interest piqued.
So basically, anytime you choose to settle, or you accept less than you deserve, you are not overcoming a test from the universe. So let's say that you want to manifest your perfect partner, and then someone comes into your life and you start dating him or her, and then they're playing really hot and cold, but you're like, oh yeah, but I thought they were perfect at the beginning, and you accept it. That is basically going, I don't really believe I'm worthy of what I wanted.
Yes, that is you. That's you not thinking you deserve to be loved the way you should be.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's you telling the universe what you think you are.
Yeah.
Right.
So the minute you go, no,
yeah,
I'm stepping away from this, I'm clearing my energetic space for something better, you will always be rewarded.
Yeah, it's like unlocking the next level on a video game, isn't it?
100%. Energy is valuable, and you have to use it wisely. Like, you can't spread yourself, and you can apply it to anything. If you're in a job that you're settling in, if you accept an offer on whatever, if you accept a friendship that's making you, draining you all the time. And so that's like, I love, because I'm like, oh my God, it makes it so easy, because you end up, when you feel this empowered and you start saying no to things that are not that make you feel less than, you just unlock a whole new world. And also with that, it means that when things don't go your way, you can show this incredible resilience, and you can build this inner strength within you that's magnetic. And that's kind of like saying, okay, let's say you're going to go on holiday and something no, that's a shit example. let's say you go for the job, and you go for a job interview and you don't get the job. You have two options. You either have the option where you kind of say, oh, I knew I wasn't good enough, it's all my fault, forget it, I'm just gonna go back to doing what I was doing before.
Yeah.
Or you go, all right, what did I learn? What value can I take from it? That wasn't the right thing, something better is coming. Yeah. I'm gonna stay in my power.
That's so, that in itself is so powerful. Like, I've noticed this mindset in my friends, my family. Like, my mum really is into this, and like, she's so inspirational and lovely. Rox, you'd absolutely love her. Like, she's one of these people who, she's had a really tough year with some really heartbreaking moments, and like, rather than sit and wallow and say like, why me, and like, oh, I didn't deserve, all the rest of it, which I would be very tempted to do, I'm not gonna lie. She said, I know this is the universe's way of trying to teach me something and tell me something, and I know there's something else out there for me, I just don't know what it is yet. And she arrived, and she arrived at that train of thought like so much quicker than so many like younger, really robust people would have. And I think, God, ma'am, like, you're so resilient, and I'm so impressed by you. And like, that is why, like, I look at everything she's achieved and everything she's still achieving at like nearly 64, and I just think, you're amazing. That is so but that is right though, isn't it? Like, she's got the life she's got because of that attitude, right? Yeah. Of course. And I think it's, there are, I don't know, like, there's always, everything is about our perspective. Like, really, everything is about all the experiences we have. They only mean what we like. Why am I not articulating myself well? Everything we experience comes through what a perspective, and we have the choice always to choose what perspective we choose. And we can choose a perspective that limits us or one that empowers us. And so it's really just about having that self-awareness to just always go, I'm going to make a choice to choose a better perspective. And I use this all the time as just like a go-to technique. So if something like annoys me or I feel upset, and I usually say it like out loud to a friend or something, or just in my head, I'm just like, what is another perspective I could take on this? And as soon as I reframe it, I feel free. Yeah. Okay. That is good. That is another really good tip. I feel like all of these are great. It's no wonder, right? Okay. It's no wonder like you're called the manifesting queen. What's the next tip, Rox? Okay. So the next step is embrace gratitude without caveat. What's caveat? Okay. So I really noticed that people would always say, oh, I am really grateful for my house, but I'll just be happier when I'm somewhere bigger. Yeah. Or they'd go, I'm really grateful for this, but
when I have this, I am going to be a bit happier. And we attach these caveats to our gratitude. And I think it's because we think, okay, well, surely if I'm completely appreciative of what I already have, then I won't be pushed to strive for more.
Yeah, you think you'll remain stagnant.
Yeah, but it doesn't work like that. The manifesting sweet spot is knowing where you want to go whilst having full appreciation for where you already are.
I absolutely do that, Rox. I do that. Like, I got this lovely house, which, God, I've wanted for years, and so proud of to finally, like, you know, and all the rest of it. And people will say to us, like, oh, you're dead happy. And I'll be like, yeah, it's all right for now. I do that. I do that. And I don't know why I'm doing that, because I'm so fucking happy here.
Yeah.
You know? And like, the only way I'd move is if I can convince him to come back up north with us one day. So, you know, like, I don't know why I do that. So that's quite normal, though.
Yeah, it is. It's so normal. And I think that it is. I just think, for me, I figure that's the reason why we do it, because we fear that, like, we're not supposed to be entirely happy, because we think we should always want more. And especially if you like manifesting, it can seem really counterintuitive.
It can, and it can feel like you're almost limiting yourself.
Yeah, but it's not. It's actually having, like, full appreciation for all that you already have. Gratitude is like such a high vibrational frequency, and so you attract that back to you. So I made this 12-week self-love journal with this amazing company called The Head Plan, who she's like my queen. Anyway, and in it we have like a daily pages, and it's a positivity journal, which is where every night you kind of list every good thing that happened to you in the day from morning to evening. And what you notice is that your day is like filled with incredible moments, however big or small, but we just miss them. We're just
going so quick, aren't we? And like, even if you are into manifesting, even if you're not, like, we're all going so fast in life that we don't take notice of the little things. Like, it's weird. It was New Year's Day, and I seen this thing, and it was Steph McGovern. She does Steph's Packed Lunch. She reposted it and like brought it to me attention. And it was this thing that you get a jar, and every week you write one thing that you are grateful for that's happened that week, like one thing that's been good for you, one thing that's made you happy, whatever. And on New Year's Eve, you sit and open them all.
Like, and you so sweet, such a nice idea.
And I was like, that's so fucking lovely, because, you know, when I'm sitting there around Christmas and I do reflect, we all do, and I think about my lovely year and all the rest of it. And I think Instagram's nice for that, you know, to go back and be like, oh, remember that wedding, and remember on that holiday and stuff. But, you know, I'm hard. I can't remember the little things. I'll be like, I can remember when me and him went to Dubrovnik, or I can remember when I went to like that Manchester with the lasses, but I couldn't say, I remember this moment because of this. Yeah. I think that's a real shame that I'm not taking proper comfort and pride in all those lovely little moments in between. So I think I'm going to do the jar.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. You should. And I think it's really, like, basically you can retrain your brain to focus more on the positives by doing that. And because you'll be thinking, your subconscious will think, okay, I've got to write in my jar. So you'll be looking out for all the good things, because your subconscious will be going, what am I going to write this week? So you kind of change your vibration, because you change the way that you're focusing your attention. So gratitude is step 5, and it's epic. So it's like all round will make your life better, even if you're into manifesting or not. Step 6 is turn envy into inspiration, which
we've already done that today.
You've completed already. And step 7 is trust in the universe, and that is really all about the fact that manifesting is not about controlling your life. It's actually about surrender. Okay. And it's about this kind of unwavering belief that you don't need to know how, you just know that it will happen, and that everything's going to be okay. And that's the kind of the thing that natural manifestors possess, is this just full trust. And it's really kind of the glue that holds all the other steps together.
So as someone who is a natural overthinker, over planner, incredibly neurotic, like has to be in control of everything, like I'm such a control freak, I will struggle with that.
You will find it easier as you start to follow the other steps.
Okay, and one thing that's step 7.
Pardon?
Is that why that one's step 7?
Yeah, and also because what will happen is you'll start, one thing I encourage people to do is to look for little random coincidences or like serendipitous moments, and let them build your trust.
Okay.
When you're like thinking about someone and they call you, like those things are not coincidence. It's energy. Everything is energy.
So get on this, right? My ex-partner cheated on me. And we were like 6 months off getting married. You know, I was engaged, we had the house, everything was all good to go. Like, I'm not telling anyone anything they don't know. Honestly, the son had the paper, like the pictures of him doing it before he'd even woke up. So that's how I had to find out. And it was awful. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart, right? And I thought I'd never be happy again. Like, I know, melodramatic, but I did. And like, there was loads, like, and when I was trying to get myself better, I did the whole, you know, vengeful fit pictures on my Instagram. I don't need no man, all that shit. And there was loads of blokes in my DMs, and like, I won't name names, but it was some very handsome fellas, you know, and I just, nothing felt right. Like, no, I couldn't, you know, nothing felt like, I didn't feel ready for anything. And then Erkan slid into my DMs, right? And I remember instantly just there was something different about the way his messages made us feel. And he said to me, and I can't remember doing it, but he said, "Oh, you'd started liking my pictures." And I said, "Yeah, I can't remember." And obviously, like, I'd been heartbroken, and I'd probably just been scrolling through Instagram thinking, he's fine. Like, you know, I was on this like mission to like act like I was fine and better, and I didn't need my ex and all the rest of it. And I says, "Yeah, I can't remember." And he says, "Yeah." And he went, I says, "I don't even remember following you."
Yeah.
And he went, "You followed us like years ago." So he'd popped up on my explore page, right? Years ago, before I was in a relationship with me. And I'd seen a picture of him clearly with his top off and thought, "You're a lovely bit of kit." So I'd followed him. Then he'd seen us followed us back. We'd both got in relationships like quite quickly after that. So nothing had ever come to fruition. And then, of course, 3 years later down the line, he broke up with his ex like a month before I broke up with mine. And then I started liking those pictures, and he slid into my DMs. And honestly, Rox, like, we went on my first date, and I still post the picture of one my first date. It was in Nobu in Berkeley Square. And like,
oh my God, that's where I'm going for dinner tonight. I just told Ellis.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, this is too much. That is literally when we went first date. We were laughing, kissing, hugging, like everything. Like, and I remember I sent a message to my mates that night and went, "Lasses, buy a fucking hat because I've met my husband." Like, no word of a lie. No word of a lie. And it's weird, like how you say, like, these little things that will happen that almost let you know that what you're doing is right.
It was, yeah. And that is so cute.
It was lush, mate, because there was so many reasons why we couldn't have been together, why that timeline wouldn't have worked, but it found a way.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the universe telling us it's right. And I always believe that. I always believe I was
so romantic. I'm obsessed.
I mean, the whole following on Instagram and thinking he's a lovely bit of kit's not quite like Jane Austen, but it's modern day romance. Everyone's got to take what they can get. I know I've spoken to you so long, but it's because I've found everything you had to say so interesting and so inspirational. I will let you go, I swear, but I have 2 questions. One thing I can't go without asking. Looking at you now, you seem so beautiful, so happy, so together, so confident. Even just your house, you know, it's like immaculate. It's amazing. It would be really interesting and easy for people to just say, "Well, it's dead easy for her."
Yeah.
But your life hasn't always looked like this, has it?
No. Yeah. It's so, I definitely feel like when it was May 2018 that I was really at like rock bottom, which was 3 years ago or something. And I had a coke addiction for probably since I was 21 till I fell pregnant. And I mean, I went to my first NA meeting when I was 21. So I kind of knew. And so it took over my life for sure. And I just lived for parties because I had no career, I had no direction, no purpose, I had no self-worth. And I had found myself in the kind of party scene in London, and was just desperately trying. It was like I just thought that like if I hung out at a party with celebrities, then I was validated. But of course, they don't give a fuck about me, because I was also just like some random coked up girl, just like turning up at parties. And it was, I was just like so. And the only time, like, my self-loathing has always been like probably my biggest battle, and like just such deep, like I can't, undescribable self-hate, like just couldn't, like hated the person I was, everything, like how I looked, like I thought I was just like disgusting. And the only time that I escaped from that was when I was high. And then of course, you see the sunrise and, days, whatever. And then you're just depressed. And I think I didn't realize I was depressed for ages. But I remember I would always like look at people online who just seemed like really carefree and happy. And I was just so jealous. Like I was so jealous of that other people seemed to be able to like navigate life and just like be fine. And I just seemed to be miserable all the time. And so I thought I was just a really miserable person, and that I was really negative, and I didn't know how to like love anyone properly, and definitely not myself. And I just thought that was how my life was going to be forever. And I'd basically gone to Thailand. I've actually never really spoken about this stuff, but I'd gone to Thailand on a yoga trip and just hoped to just like, become a yoga teacher and find myself. And I came back and I went on like a 2.5 day bender. And I remember just, like it's actually like still gives me like real anxiety when I think back at it. And I really thought I am like, nothing is going to save me. Like nothing is going to save me. Like I'm always going to be like this. And I called my friend and she said, do you want to listen to this podcast on manifesting? And I listened to it. And 2 weeks later, Wade messaged me on a dating app called Raya. And a year to the day, our son was born.
No.
Yeah.
So that was like just the massive changing point for you. Like just the minute you heard that manifesting podcast, you fell in love with it.
Fell in love with it, yeah. Because I realized it was all about self-worth. I started listening to my affirmations every night. And then when I was pregnant with Wolf, I went through a really dark time.
Love that name.
Oh, thank you, my little angel. I went through the darkest time of my life. I gained like 6 stone. I didn't leave the house for 6 months. The depression was like, because I obviously suddenly had to give up everything, had no escape. I had like nothing. I was like in a bad way. But I kept visualizing what I wanted my life to be like afterwards. And after I gave birth to Wolfie, I was like, this is it. I am going to make my life insane. And within 2 years, within a year, honestly, it was like phenomenal. But within 2 years, like I have done nothing short of a miracle. And so if you tell me manifesting doesn't work, I'm going to tell you to just look at my fucking life, because
you are such a success story.
Yeah. And it is manifesting.
Roxie, I could have cried listening to you talk there, because for starters, like, I just think you're so amazing. And I think you're so inspirational. And it hurts me so much that you ever felt that way. But I honestly believe the best people in life, like the most inspiring, the strongest, the most interesting, the one I want to sit next to at a dinner party, is the person who has a grazed knee, who's known struggle, who has managed to turn their life around. So I feel like everything you went through was probably, even though so hard, absolutely integral to making you the person you are today, and making sure you are this manifesting queen and you can pay forward all of that amazing knowledge and help other people realize their dreams. So I'm sorry it happened, but I'm pleased you are who you are now.
Oh, that is so kind. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. And before I let you go, Here at Vicky Pattison Secret 2, we always give our lovely listeners a couple pearls of wisdom from one of our gorgeous guests. And obviously yours has to be the secret to manifesting. So Roxie Nafousi, I want to ask you what your secret to manifesting your best life is.
So the secret to manifesting your best life is to start with cultivating self-love in every single way possible, because self-love underpins the entire manifesting journey and every step in the book. It all starts there. Every single action you take or thought you have, always ask yourself, is there a more self-loving way I could do this?
And when you say self-love, like, you mean showing yourself kindness, showing yourself compassion? You mean, like, I think women in particular really struggle, with that sort of thing. So, like, I like to tell people when I wake up in the morning, like, I say to myself, I try and pick out something in the mirror I like about myself rather than just.
I love that.
I know, because for years I hated what I saw in the mirror, and the first initial thought in the morning would be, oh God, my tummy's got like rolls, or I've got something, whatever. So I always say something like that. So is that what you mean when you say self-love?
Yeah, it's just backing yourself, and just like seeing yourself as the whole package. I think actually as women we fixate on little things, like either like our weight or the way we like we look or the way we dress or whatever it is. It's like you're a whole fucking package. Like, look at all the things you are. You're also like kind and a good listener and whatever these, or you're funny, or you like life and soul, or whatever these things you are. And start taking yourself as a whole package and be your own cheerleader. Like, back yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. Like, you've got to start there. Set your boundaries, have people around you that make you feel good about yourself. Like, that is so important.
Show up for you as well. Like, I just love this.
Yeah.
I already know, like, I have learned so much from this, Roxie. I can't wait to get balls deep in your book. I will tell everyone where it's available in the outro, but once again, just thank you so
much. Don't worry, Amazon haven't even got my fucking book in stock. So this is basically because I don't have 1 million followers. They were like, she doesn't have enough followers, so they assumed I wouldn't sell many books, so they just didn't order enough.
Well, do you know what? That's more fool them. But I'm sure by the time this podcast's out, they'll have got their asses into gear.
I hope so.
I've got everything crossed. If not, if it's not on Amazon, where else can they buy it? In bookstores?
Yeah, Waterstones and stuff. And then we've had restocking issues all week. It's so annoying. But anyway, thank you so much. I'm like genuinely obsessed with you. Like, this has been one of my favorite conversations I've ever had. I knew I was going to love you. And I couldn't feel like more obsessed with you.
Feeling is absolutely mutual, mate. And you've made us fall in love with manifesting as well. I'm already thinking, like, me and my boyfriend are going to do a vision boards next Saturday. We've got a day off. I'm going to buy a jar right now. I am all for this. Gratitude, manifesting, realizing my power, babe. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest, Roxie.